13th, and time for this week's Friday Funnies. Happy Friday, everybody. To be more specific, happy Friday the 13th. Yeah, again. We just had one of these last month, and now here we are with another day dedicated to doom and despair, which are in plentiful supply at this point in time. You know, we still can't seem to find our way out of this economic crisis, and to be honest with you, I have no idea where we are heading. I am just worried that we're not all going to fit in the same handbasket. So, how much worse can the Friday the 13th be? Well, none, but it can be a whole lot funnier. So as we collectively try to climb out of this bottomless barrel of the blues, let's take time out for a chuckle or two with this week's Friday Funnies. All right, there's a theme. There's a theme to all of this week's stories. See if you can figure it out before we get to the end. Story number one takes us to Fort Pierce, Florida. A lot of strange things seem to happen in Fort Pierce, Florida. Seems like every week we have a story from down there. This week it concerns a 65-year-old man who walked into a Texaco gas station and promptly took a Klondike ice cream bar and stuffed it down his pants. He then followed this up with several packages of ramen noodles and Famous Amos cookies. Then he walked out of the store without paying for them. Well, the store manager chased after him, and this guy panicked, and he reached into his pants and pulled out the melting ice cream bar, handed it back to the manager along with $69. Said, "Here, take this, just don't call the police." Well, the guy called the police anyhow, and the man was arrested for retail theft and probation violation. The store took the packages of noodles and cookies and put them back on the shelves. The Klondike ice cream bar could not be saved. Aww. In Racine, Wisconsin, Deputy Russell Preston was off duty sitting in his own home when a drunk driver hit a light pole in front of his house, then drove across his front lawn and kept on going down the street. So Deputy Preston did what any police officer would do. He gave chase. He ran out of his house and chased after the man on foot, wearing only his boxer shorts, a t-shirt, and a pair of socks. So here he is, chasing down the street in his underwear, chasing after this drunk driver. Fortunately, he was spotted by the local bank president, a man by the name of Dick Johnson, who has a redundantly Freudian name. Anyhow, Mr. Johnson recognized him. He said, "Hey, where you going?" He said, "I'm chasing that drunk guy up ahead." He got in the car together. They caught the drunk driver. The deputy took care of arresting him. The bank president was exhausted, and so Dick Johnson took the rest of the day off. The bank that day was run by his brother, Peter Johnson. I'm so sorry, I will just never grow up. All right, let me ask you this. When gambling, what's worse than losing your shirt? Losing your pants. That's right. At the Creek Nation Casino in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a guy got very lucky, won himself $2,000 while gambling. So he's sitting in the bar and celebrating his good luck when to him, it looks like his luck is just getting better as two female massage therapists approached him and offered to give him a complimentary rub. So they all went up to his room where he took off his pants and the girls took off with his pants and the $2,000 still in them. So unfortunately, this story, the man has no pants, he has no money, and worst of all with this story, it has no happy ending. Finally, our segment, News from Around the World. I love this segment. This time it takes us to Canberra, Australia. Canberra, Australia, down under, where a man named Beat Etland heard an intruder break into his house. And at first, he was paralyzed with fear. But then he heard his son call out from his room, "There's a room in my room!" And so he sprang to action, no pun intended, ran into his son's room where he saw a 90-pound kangaroo who had broken through the window. Well, this guy quickly got the kangaroo, started wrestling with it, got him into a headlock, and he's dragging the kangaroo towards the front door. He opens the door with his free hand, boots the kangaroo out into the wild. Everyone was fine, and he did it all while wearing only his underwear. Have you caught this week's theme? That's right. If this week's Friday Funnies were the source of a category on Jeopardy, I think that category would be called Underpants or Parts Thereof. I'll take that for 20, Alex. What's a skid mark? Again, I'll never grow up. Hey, thanks for watching the Friday Funnies. I will see you all next week. And in the meantime, hey, come visit me on Facebook. I've got like 400 Facebook friends. I only know like 20 of them. See you next week.